Hi everyone, this is a tutorial on the basics of the Parkbound level editor and how you can use prefabs to create your own levels. The first thing you can do is it automatically has a start location and a treasure chest, and then you can just hit the practice button, which will put you at the start, or you can drag yourself into anywhere in the level if you want to practice from another location, which will be useful as your level gets bigger. So let's do that now. Let's drag in a block. We can grab one of the edges just to make it expand out. Also, we can hold Alt, which will let us expand either side. So let's put a treasure chest up here. We can hit G and that will translate the object. All your hotkeys are shown in the top left. So we can move this up a little higher, and then we can hit T. So if we wanted to, first we could hit G and then move it up all the way to where we want it to be. Or if we want, we can just hit T, which will let you snap to any surface. And then the added benefit is this will be attached now. So now if you hit G and grabbed any of these other objects that it's attached to, then it would move everything, which is just the chest right now. Alright, so we have a start and we have an end point. Maybe we can kind of see the chest from the start. Let's also change the environment a little bit. Right now it shows the sky. It's going from like a pink to blue to yellow. Maybe we can make it a little blue and then maybe just white in the sky. Pretty basic. Maybe add a little bit of a gradient to the bottom. It'll probably be a little choppy in the YouTube video, but it looks a lot better in game. So there we go. You can kind of see where everything is. And you see when I dragged in the box, it just added one of each material to it. So we can paint it, which will paint every single side one material with the paint full, or we could hit tab or click the paintbrush, which will let us paint the top different material. So the next thing we can do is we can add some platforms that we can jump on to get to the end. So if we hit add and then platforms, so we have a bunch of platforms that are all created in game. So if we drag it in, we could hit edit, which would bring in the advanced mode, which we'll cover in another video. And then every single one of these objects you can take a look at and modify and change however you want to. But for now, let's just use what is already uploaded. And now we have a little platform that we can jump onto. So we can hit Control D and that will duplicate it. And then we can still just translate to move it to another position. So now if we don't want these to move perfectly in sync, we can just add a time offset, and now it'll be a little more interesting to jump onto. So if we want to create another block right here, we could drag in another block and expand it out just like we did before. Or even easier, we can grab this wall and hit shift. You'll see at the top it has left click to extrude, and we can just extrude out a new object. And then we can move this to where we want it to be. This has the added benefit of keeping these both attached to each other, so the level you can move around different parts a little easier. So let's actually do that now. So I can hit T just to snap that on. So say you wanted to keep these where they are, but you liked, you would want to keep these attached. So to provide the extra flexibility, what you can do is just hit attach set object, and now these will all be attached to this block right here. So it starts off with a nice simple challenge. Let's put in a checkpoint and let's keep building parts to get to the end here. So what else do we have? We can grab a staircase that'll give us some elevation here. That's fine. Let's make this a little thinner. We can hold Alt. Cool. And then let's create another platform that you can walk on here. You do want to avoid objects going directly on top of each other, as it will kind of create this Z-fighting, which is basically when your polygons are perfectly on top of each other. The engine can't distinguish between them. So that's good. Then we can add a few more blocks that players can platform on. We can just copy these, maybe we can make it so they would fall off in different angles. So these are all just provided in the library. So every time we're dragging one of these prefabs in, it will check if the prefab already exists, and then we'll just add it to the prefab section here. And then also all these prefabs can be painted with their own colors. So if we wanted to go into the level, maybe we can make this red, something a little nicer, just a nice blue color. And then we can use this blue to make it match some of the prefabs. We can paint that to refresh. And then we could paint all these blues to match the new blue here. And then we can drag this in just a little bit. Cool. Alright, so that's off to a good start. So we can do the exact same thing, hit shift, click, extrude. And that's good. So maybe we can add a time offset to make this one a little trickier. So now these two, let's add a partner. So we can copy this one, it'll copy the time offset. And so now there's kind of two different little sections here. So checkpoint, we could control D, copy the checkpoint, put it here. All the hotkeys you can view and see up top. So control D is duplicate, or delete, you can remove it, and then you could just add another checkpoint. And everything is paintable, of course, so we can make these a little more themed. Great, so we're getting closer. Let's see what else we can add. Maybe we can make this a nice bigger platform area and add a little tree. So this seems to fit. So this has particles coming off the tree, so every time we move it, it'll spawn in particles in the new position. That's neat. Let's get some more platforms. Maybe we can add a few of these gears. So let's turn it this way, and then we want to slowly move that way. So we could edit the prefab to make it spin the other direction, or it's even easier, just hit R, and then the axis you want to rotate on, so each one will appear. You have to hit R, Y, which will let you spin it on the Y axis, or you could spin it on the X, which would kind of let you offset it a little bit. That way you actually don't even have to worry about using a time offset. Cool. So actually, if we wanted to, we could line these up perfectly to kind of make it look like the gears are rotating with each other. Let's get this right. That's pretty good. And then let's just add another block. Let's make it a platform. So maybe we can use these guys again. So if we want this to be a little more grounding, we could kind of just carry this out here and make it this attached. And then instead of maybe going in a straight line, we can add a little bit of elevation. So again, move this in, make this a little taller, and we should be able to jump from one to another here. Move this over. And then we can go from here, a couple more to get us just a little bit higher in the level. That looks like it'll do it. So we can move this up. And let's take this a little bit closer. And then we're going to have to add maybe 2 of these so we can get up all the way. And then let's time offset. And the yellow doesn't quite fit, so we can go back to our material here and then paint this a new color. Great, so this is a nice simple level. It adds, let's actually just make it so these things aren't floating. And that will help us actually get these a little better aligned. We're not going to be able to make that jump. Let's bring this in. So let's double check before we do a run through. Let's move that over. So that looks pretty good. Let's give it a run. Actually, the last thing we're going to do is take this treasure chest. Let's actually face it back this way. And we can choose a trophy. So I like to pick kind of the most memorable thing in the level. This tree, pretty neat. So you can select an object in the scene, or you can actually just select one of your prefabs. You can hit refresh, and now your trophy will appear right there. So let's give it a run. Jump over that, and we jumped right on it. So that does create a tricky part. Let's try this again. There we go. I'll just miss the elevator. There we go. So this is actually going the opposite direction we want to go, and this one is helping us. Oh no. So you get stuck. I could jump down, or you can hold R to reset. That will bring me right back to my checkpoint. So there was a good spot for a checkpoint. Kind of starting from the start would be a bummer. What you can do is you can add different challenges in the level to make it so, yep, I knew that was going to happen. To make it so that you might get a special reward for beating the level without using any checkpoints. And then the checkpoints is great because it still allows players to kind of practice different parts of the level, and if they're not interested in kind of just getting the perfection, then they can try it with the checkpoints and maybe come back later next time for newer challenge. And yes, barely made that jump, and this should bring us right up to the treasure chest. Cool, and then there's the trophy. Particles kind of coming in, that's neat. Yeah, so this is a really basic level, just dragging in some of the prefabs that already exist, and of course all these things can be combined and attached and changed to different ways. There'll be a couple other videos that'll show how you can create your basic traps and create your own worlds. Thanks for watching.